Hey guys, welcome back. It's Heather from Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. I am so glad you're here. So I'm going to be working on a project I have started and stopped multiple times over the last several months. And I have footage where I did start, and then I just never got to completion. But for this video, we are going to work on my green stalks. And we're going to do it start to finish. I'm going to show you how I'm flipping them for fall, because it's almost fall. We're getting so close. Some of the summer stuff is still kind of hanging around. We'll keep a few, but we're going to really transition into fall. And I'm excited you're here, and we're going to get busy right now. Before we start on the first green stalk, I'm actually going to remove the stevia. As you see here, it's got this beautiful medium tone green, and it's almost getting ready to flower. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest and remove those from the green stalk and transplant the root ball down here into these holes I've got prepared. I'm doing this because I want to see, can the stevia overwinter in ground in my zone 7B, almost 8 growing zone. For my second green stalk, I wanted to remove this eggplant because it's not getting enough light now that our light has shifted as we're moving into fall. So I moved it out to the front side of my house so it'll get much more sun. And it was getting too tall and lanky for the green stalk anyway. This is round 4 or 5 of trying to get the green stalks cleaned up and looking nice and ready for fall. They have been abandoned all summer, and now they need a lot of work. All right, I've got the first green stalk dismantled completely. You can see the stevia is in the ground. I did leave some of the foliage there, not just the root ball. Now we're going to work on this New Zealand spinach because for me it comes back every year. This is its 3rd year. So I'm going to do a swap. I have another extra tier. Long story, basically, I got a new tier sent to me because of an issue where my green stalk fell over. I'm going to swap this one for the New Zealand spinach and just leave it off by itself. I'm also doing some other switcheroos. So my top tier is now the bottom tier. And as I'm going through, I'm adding mosquito bits to every layer to help with mosquito control. I was quickly able to reassemble this tier, and everyone will get a dose of liquid fertilizer. And you can see this empty container now that is just off by itself. This will be my New Zealand spinach. I'm going to plant a few more seeds. I'm going to trim this off, cut it off, and then we'll just have the basil for now until first frost, and the New Zealand spinach hopefully will overwinter and those seeds will sprout. All right, now that we've got the green stalk, I use these drain covers to help protect the drain hole. And so each one I have for each of my green stalks is a different color. And that's how I keep them organized in my notes, where I keep a list of what I have planted in each tier. So this is green stalk, even though they're all the same color on the outside. Just using the drain cover as the color reference for this particular green stalk. Okay, so this one's done. We're going to move on to this one. And then our last one to complete will be the strawberry container. And that won't be too much work. I just need to move some of the runners. And I do have some strawberry babies in this container that I need to relocate. And moving right along to this poor neglected green stalk. It's got weeds. It's got lots of cabbage loopers, I'm sure, because my poor kale will be starting fresh, probably with some new fresh kale starts. Looks like there's some peppers hanging on. Look at this poor cabbage. This was a dwarf variety called Pixie, and you can see heavy concentration of cabbage loopers in this vicinity. So what I'm thinking, I may treat with BT any brassicas that are in this green stalk and leave them in place for 3, 4, 5 days until I can go get some starts for my fall gardening. And then hopefully by that time, if there are some loopers hanging around, cabbage worms, they will eat the BT and no longer be a problem. But this green stalk is in desperate need of rehabbing as we move into fall. There are a lot of slugs on this level. As you can see, I do have some Sluggo Plus, and I did put some out last night, and I will leave it out indefinitely until we get rain, I guess. And I just leave it in little containers like this. And by morning, most of it's, now this one was probably, I would say halfway full last night. So I would say they ate at least half of the half. So this one had a tray as well, and I noticed quite a bit of it was gone. This is the tray I had on that particular Greenstalk, and it was mostly full, so they ate quite a bit last night. I will manually remove these slugs right now, and I will relocate them into the woods. Honestly, these aren't moving too much, so I wonder if they have eaten the bait. Now these guys are kind of moving though. All of them I will relocate right now. And I'm actually thinking I'm just going to go ahead and pull all the brassicas and start fresh. Because I want to clean up the Greenstalks. I want the space to look more inviting, not just a complete mess. Now this thyme that I have on this particular Greenstalk is much more aggressive. Don't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen. I'll have to look it up. It grows just so prolifically and quickly compared to, say, this lemon thyme, which is much more controllable and manageable. So lemon thyme can stay where it's at. Thinking for this aggressive thyme, it has its uses if you want to have a nice thick ground cover somewhere. I'm either going to relocate it altogether, or I'm going to move that tier to the bottom and cut the thyme so it's not dragging the ground. Obviously, it doesn't help prevent cabbage loopers as far as pest control. It does smell incredible, though. But it sure doesn't help with the cabbage loopers or the slugs. Yes, it smells delicious. Okay. Yep, I'm going to get these slugs out of here. There is that aggressive thyme. I'm thinking about letting it just take over the entire bottom tier if we make that the bottom tier. But look at this. Yeah. The kale did not stand a chance this summer with the cabbage loopers. So I can tell, though, that things are starting to recover. So I am thinking maybe their life cycle is done for now. It is like getting close to mid-September. So I may remove 2 of these and maybe just cut back this one and see if it wants to put out some new leaves. I did something similar, I'll show you guys real quick, with some kale just the other day. It looks very similar. I cut off all the bad skeleton leaves, and you can see it's starting to flush out with some new growth. And these will definitely be usable soon, these leaves. So I think I may do something similar with our Greenstalk kale. And when I'm doing a major take apart like this, I am checking the base, making sure water flows through, cleaning up debris. There was a bunch of like dirt down in here. There's actually a lot of ants as well. So maybe it is a good idea if I put the thyme down as the bottom base. I don't know if that'll deter ants or not. It's worth a shot. And I also check the water reservoir disc. I take them out, bring them over here, spray them thoroughly, and make sure that they're draining, that the holes are draining really well. Because I have suspected that a couple of these have been blocked before, and then it doesn't let the water travel down to the tiers that are farther past the blockage. And there we go. This is how easily this thyme will spread. I just move some of the stems over here. They will root into the soil. And then we will have the same variety of thyme all the way around. I'm going to water this super well because it is very dry. And here is an example of these tiny little disc holes that potentially could become clogged. So I do like to check them every now and then. There's only 6 per disc. So I definitely take the time to check them, spray them out, and make sure they are functioning properly before I put them back into each tier. Now your top tier does not have one, obviously. It's just got the reservoir, as you see there. So I think I'll pop a couple more kale seeds, just in case these guys decide not to continue flushing back out. And I do believe these are 2 different ones. I think this is a Siberian dwarf, and this is frill Siberian kale, I think. I have seeds for both, so I'll just pop a couple seeds in here. Thinking about I may plant some cilantro with the peppers. I've got 2 empty pockets. And then maybe over on that green stalk, find several pockets available to plant dill, because I could always use another round of dill. So dill needs light to germinate, so I am just sprinkling them on the surface, and I'm just going to water them in. Now, everywhere that you see one of those little ladder trellises is where I have a pepper. A lot of them are just mystery peppers. I'm also going to put some of these quick growing container bush beans down by the trellis, and maybe we have enough time, we can get a harvest off of these before our first frost. And then once I pull the peppers right before first frost, I will be planting either spinach seeds in those pockets where the peppers had been, or some Chinese broccoli seeds that need to be direct sown. Both of those do better direct sown, the Chinese broccoli and the spinach seeds. So I'm going to get to planting these for this green stalk and that one as well. But I've almost got everything seeded out on this one. I need to go find my little seed houses that I ordered from Greenstalk to keep the squirrels from digging. That really does help quite a bit. All of the established plants got a dose of liquid fertilizer, and the seed houses are going to have to wait until I can go through a bunch of stuff, like a couple bins of stuff to find them. But here's a picture if you'd like to see what they look like. I'm just going to have to really be careful and make sure the squirrels stay off of these green stalks. Now, it may actually be a good thing because it is hot today. It'll be hot tomorrow and Sunday, like in the 80s. So maybe it's best I don't put the seed houses on just yet, but it would help with germination, and it would help with keeping the squirrels out. Although lettuce seeds are sensitive to temperature, like a hot temperature, and maybe they wouldn't germinate as quickly with those seed houses on because it would keep the temperature so hot. We'll see. Maybe it'll work out for the best. Yeah. As I replace each tier, I'm also taking the time to go all the way around each level and make sure that it is locked in place and engaged properly. Very important that your green stalk is level and secure. For the strawberry green stalk, I will not be taking it apart this time. I did that probably in the spring. I think I did that. So what I am going to do, see all the runners? They are still attached to the mother plant. So I'm going to leave them attached. I'm just going to bring them up to where I would like. You can see a couple dot off right there. I'm just going to stick the crown down into the soil, but you don't want to bury the crown. And this one can come right up here. And oh no, I just broke it. Yeah, okay, so I just broke it. That didn't work out too good. So now what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and cut off this umbilical cord and then stick the plants, the new plants, into the soil. Keep them moist. They will root out and be just fine. Remember, don't bury the crown. The crown is this growth plate right here. You don't want to bury that, at least not too deeply. Let's see, there's a few microscopic roots. We're going to get this guy right there and then get the other one into that spot. Something has been eating away at all of my strawberry leaves, which is quite interesting. Really don't think a chipmunk or a squirrel would do that. They have been completely picked clean. I'm going to have to do some research. Is there a caterpillar that likes to eat strawberry leaves and leave the stems and the fruits? It's kind of odd. Very, very odd. It doesn't look like a slug either. I don't think a rabbit could jump up there and just eat strawberry leaves. So it's very curious as to what is going on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and relocate remaining babies from this container. I used to actually have that variety growing in this container, and so a few of the babies did remain. Looks like I've got some volunteer ice plant, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure where I'll put that yet. It is perennial. We've got some weeds. For sure that's a weed. No, this is a weed. Look at all that beautiful moss. I will recycle that for sure. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get all the little babies, put them over in the green stock. Every pocket is full. It's been well watered. I'm going to give each pocket a little splash of my liquid fertilizer because they are still trying to put off fruits now that it's fall and they get a small flush of fruits. And this top level has nothing, so I think what I'm going to do, sprinkle some lettuce seeds for the top layer, and then everything else is just seascape strawberries. But that looks so much better. Here we are immediately after. You can see that my strawberry tower is missing a lot of leaves, but as long as I keep this nice and moist, it should do fine. Got this beautiful gorgeous rose, but after this video someone came and ate that rose that night. Yeah, I know, it's shocking. I think the deer actually are getting into my yard at night. So the other two green stalks are done, and I'm gonna clip out here in just a second so that I can show you my notes and what I have planted in each of these two green stalks. You guys can pause and take a peek at the green stalk and the blue green stalk to see what I direct seeded, what I kept, lots of things going on. But I did find some clips from prior videos that I wanted to share. And this is me back in late spring harvesting dill. This here is actually cilantro that is starting to go to seed. But I was able to harvest a nice chunk of dill before it started to bolt and flower and all that, because it gets kind of bitter if you wait until too late. When it's kind of flowering, it's a little bitter. And then I was sharing about the green onions. So what I like to do is take a green onion, use it. If I don't use all of the white and there's still a little bit of the bulb with roots, I will actually stick it back in my little pockets with the bulbing onions, and it will actually grow a new green onion stalk that you can just harvest again. We go outside to get all of our green onions right from the green stalk, and it's just nice and convenient to kind of recycle those onion roots and have a new supply of green onions continuously. All right guys, well, I hope you're having a wonderful week. If you have green stalks, let me know. I have been eyeballing the new color, the blackberry color. I absolutely love it, but I have no idea where I would put it in my garden.